All right, everyone. Welcome to the Java Operators meeting, September 8th. Let me share the agenda. This one. Okie dokie. Okay. Do we have any new faces that would like to share and introduce themselves? Okay.
I don't think I've shown my face at this meeting before, so I'll introduce myself. My name is Jonathan. I work on Operator SDK, and I'm one of the chairs of Operator Framework.
Welcome, Jonathan.
Hello.
Also, I guess I work for IBM, which is at least pretends to be a different company from most of the folks around here.
Sorry, that was funny. Is the contributor ladder on this same PR?
Yeah, it's all in the
Okay.
same PR. I don't know if did Austin merge my pull request already? He did not.
Okay. Let's see here. So for community interest, I wanted to bring up again, we've got the federated governance going out, PR open for operator framework. Inside of that PR, there is also a contributor ladder that explains the roles for operator framework and what the projects will likely follow. And so one of the things that we wanted to kind of bring up in this meeting is folks that are working on Java Operator SDK, and if any of these, if you could look at these and see if they kind of conflict or kind of match what your levels are in your current project. And I can kind of give you a high level real quick, at least so we've got member, which is basically a member of the operator framework GitHub organization. The doesn't matter if you're not a reviewer, you're an approver, just you're there. You maybe submitted a PR and want to participate in the community. Reviewer of a project, one of the sub projects. I think right now the operator framework has two, SDK and OLM. If Java were to join the organization, they would probably be their own sub project. And reviewers can basically LGTM the PRs. And then we've got approvers, which are effectively maintainers. They can approve, they can do like the /approve, they can merge into the repo and effectively do releases. They pretty much have admin access to it. And
no, they don't have admin access. They have write access.
Oh, write access. I'm sorry. And then steering committee. How is that one different?
So,
yes, that's us, the chairs.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's a little early for you there, Jesus?
No, it's 11 o'clock already, but still. So the steering committee is effectively one person from each of the sub-projects plus a certain number of at-large bids from the rest of the community. Today, there are 7. Initial, I think we had our election, was it last year or the year before?
No, we just had it in May.
Really has been that quick? Okay. So we just had our election. So we have 7 folks. We're most of us are from either OLM or SDK, but we're working on changing the governance to kind of match the federated to allow new folks to join. So, did you have any other details that you wanted to cover? I just kind of ran through it real fast.
So who will be the admin? The steering committee is basically the admin. It's 1-to-1.
Yeah, the steering committee members have admin over the entire GitHub org and are intended to be the only ones with admin access.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sounds good. I'm not sure. So when I used something like a privilege that of an admin last time, but yeah, I guess sometimes like adding some rules, how do you call it, protection rules or something that we plan to do at least in the future, but the CI/CD is not prepared for that. So, and things like that, I guess I need admin access to accomplish.
Wait, you need admin access to do what for your CI/CD?
So protection, branch protection. So not really for, yeah, I guess for branch protection too, but then we have to do some changes on CI/CD so that the bots and everything will have some access to the branches which are protected, and things like this. I guess we need admin access to accomplish. But yeah, just thinking loudly. So yeah, okay. So steering committee is basically admin at the end also. Okay, could you send it please, Jesus, to the chat, this link to this PR?
Yeah. In Zoom? Here, I'll add it in Zoom and in other places. Where did chat? Oh, there it is. What I was also going to say was that in the eyes of the CNCF, the steering committee is what they would consider the maintainers. So that's the group of folks that they will email out maintainer emails and things like that. Mm-hmm. And because each sub project will have a member and a seat at on the committee, each of the sub project gets a voice.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, and how are those elected? Maybe it's just stop me if it's in somewhere there. I will review it in the document. I guess it's there.
So. There is let me go find that other portion. I think it's covered in the governance.
Yeah, it's in the other part of the PR. So basically, so there are 2 kinds of steering committee members. There are sub-project representatives and at-large members. Basically, each sub-project, the approvers of that sub-project elect a sub-project representative. So every sub-project will have 1 member that they choose. And then the remaining at-large seats are filled out by member-wide votes from the entire operator framework. So right now, and we have 7 members. If Java SDK were to join, the approvers would vote someone who doesn't necessarily have to be one of the approvers from the sub-project, but we imagine probably will be. So then there would be 8 until whenever the next election is. And then I think we would rejigger the numbers so it goes back to 7. I believe is what the governance says.
I think that is the case. That during the next election cycle, we'll try to go back to 7. So it's conceivable, let's say there are 2 maintainers 2 approvers on Java Operator SDK. It is technically possible for one to be nominated as the project representative, and the other one could win an election and be one of the at-larges.
Okay. Sounds good. We'll check it and
Okay.
make some
Yeah, I
comments
think
on
we were
this.
looking to, because the Java operator SDK was kind of our primary target right now, and kind of helps us figure out some of these. So if there are concerns or questions, it'd be nice to hear, okay, what would other projects might likely want or have concerns about and questions, so we can kind of get ahead of those. So
Yep, makes sense.
and you can just ask them in the PR's comments and we can address them that way.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Okey-dokey. Anyone else have any community interest they'd like to bring up?
I would like to just mention with the governance stuff. So current plan that we would like to shoot for is, so the governance stuff says we have to announce a change and then wait 7 days before we can actually vote to merge it. If at all possible, we would like to start that waiting period at the operator framework, like big community governance meeting, which is next Wednesday. So if all you folks could take a look at this and make comments, or just say this looks good by next Wednesday, that would be great.
Yes, and I will join also probably then next Wednesday. I wanted
So-
also this week, but it's hard.
September 14th. Yeah, it's a late afternoon in the US, which is really late Central European, I believe.
Yes, it's 9 or something-ish PM, 9-ish. Okay, will do.
Okay, thanks. Okay. Let me check. There's nothing else. Let me check the issues. They're all the same. This one hasn't had any new updates. Okay. See, 7 days ago, here's your all over. There's only 2 in the last week. This one looks fairly. How to handle CR and secret references set in a CR spec.
Yes, I didn't look. Chris is, I think, not here today. I didn't look on this issue, and he said that he will handle it. It's like a very complicated use case, and as I heard from, but I'm very busy with some huge designs about something else, and I had no time to.
Okay. Yeah, he looked like he's been talking to this person, so. Okay. And then alter sample to use bomb. What is bomb?
It's a bill of I don't know.
I know in my previous life where we did distributors and sellers and B2B work, it meant bill of materials.
Yes, it's that.
It's the same thing. Okay.
Yes, it's in Java. It's that when you list some dependencies, so it's easier to relate some dependencies to each other.
Oh, it's like the Maven thing.
Yes, the Maven stuff. It basically just created this issue that somebody is able to pick it up as a first issue, because it's super simple. It's just trivial basically to move the samples to this. It's more like a motivation to people to start doing something.
Okay. Cool. I think the only other one that I saw, nope, that was last week we did those. That was it. That's all the new ones. Was there any that you wanted to talk about, or?
I think that there are some issues we could talk about. One is this. I mean, there is we had a release which had the leader election as a big feature, and there are some issues which are kind of in the queue requested by the users, both external and internal. And then we are focusing on the dependent resources in the coming weeks, probably. So this is kind of finished to some point. And yeah, that's not happening. Most of the other issues that are not dependent resources require some changes in the client, the Fabricate client. And we are basically actively discussing that on that project with the developers of the Fabricate client. So yeah, so those are the two main targets. Few issues from the users and the dependent resources for the free.free in the future. And then we probably will have more these. We will maybe discuss with you how it's what's your experience with these sync timeouts, and we want to do cache pruning and cache limiting and other optimizations after that probably. But yeah, for now nothing is pressing, basically just this some issues from the customers, and we have these milestones now which will is the issue we want to do in the close future. And I think under the issues is the free.free is a huge list, which probably most of them is not going to that, but that's what we are working on. Some of them I just I will, I guess, move to, but yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. Okay. All right. There were no action items from last time. We had a we had a 5-minute meeting last time. All right. We still have time. If anyone wants to talk about a PR or issues, we can. If not, we can call it a day.
Just maybe one question, if you don't have any experience, then we can just close it. So if is there any support in operator SDK or controller runtime? I didn't find any. I think when you are creating a bulk resources, like dependent on the custom resource, you want to create 5 or n number of config maps, or basically any resource, but it's the number of these resources are dynamic. So yeah, like you want to 10 or 20 config maps depending on the custom resource. So do you know if there any support for that? I'm currently implementing it, just because people were actually asking for that for the dependent resources, but I didn't see anything in Go side for that. For
the dependent resources?
No, for bulk. It's like creating some secondary resources, or in a bulk manner, like there is a field in the custom resource that I want 5 config maps created.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not aware of anything like specific like that. At least not from a general point of view. I think if that happened, someone would end up writing in their operator, their CR might have a count.
Yeah.
The closest thing I've seen, like in the memcache where it talks about replicas, where you can say, I want this many replicas, and then we kind of pass that on and let Kubernetes deal with the replicas. It would probably look like that, where you give me a count of, say, config maps, and then the operator, when it reconciles and sees that value, that it will create them. How would you add that generically to the API, though?
It's yeah, it's not hard. It's because in the dependent resources we have these higher level abstractions, and we can I can quickly show you. I mean, there are 2 ways to do this, and I'm creating a prototype, both of them, to then decide.
Were you going to share your screen?
Yeah, I can quickly.
I can do that. Go ahead.
Okay, so share. I hope you can see it now. So we have this dependent resource abstract, which then every dependent resource extends, even if it's if it's a Kubernetes resource or a non-Kubernetes resource, like external resource. And there is this is now the implementation ongoing, but basically what we had is just this logic that if we have the resource already in the cache and that the resources should implement create or update, then we, based on that, we implement the logic, the matching of the actual resources, what's in the memory versus what's the desired state. So the classic logic that you would do for almost every resource you manage within the reconciliation loop, and we provide this high-level exception to do it in general. So then it's very easy, basically, just to implement this desired creation method, and that's all that a user has to do.
So you're giving the operator author the facility to handle that case. In other words, if I want my operator to support n config maps based on some value, using these
Yes.
abstractions, I can create my resource extending this, and it's already built in. And okay, I see what you mean.
Yes, and basically just this will probably change, but for now it just has to override these two methods. There is a bulk creation. It's basically if it's bulk, because count is not enough. It can be still one, and then you cannot differentiate. But so if it overrides these two methods, then everything automatically will be in a bulk manner created in the background, and the count will probably just use the primary resource to figuring out the number actually desired. And then the desired interface will have the index. This is pretty much the same logic that in Terraform, there is the count on every resource. You can do, not sure if you use Terraform, but if you have some experience, the count, it's a kind of a meta property. Like you can say that I want to have a EC2 instances in Amazon like 4, and then you can just use that with the names or something. And this is basically where you could do it then from this in the operator. I want to 4 EC2 or few S3 buckets or anything. Then you have to gen from that point override this count that is looking probably in the specs. There is a number, the count, and then the desired state and some other methods to override to achieve this. And so out of the box, it supports this bulk creation. And it just was interesting if something like this is in Go supported somehow, some utility or something like that. But
yeah, as far as I know, I don't think we do have it.
Okay, that's it. So basically, there are a few things like this, and how I cannot stop sharing. How can and the other is the support the external resources when you have a state. Needs to be saved in a config map or something, and then we are basically done with dependent resources. We're supporting every case that somebody ever mentioned, I think, for now, and basically in the same level of workflows than Terraform does in the resource workflows. So yeah,
that's cool.
And people are using it, and we are super happy for now. We had some feedback.
Sweet.
Yeah, but that's it from me.
All right. Okay. Did anyone else have anything they wanted to bring up or discuss? All right. Well, thank you for your time. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.